According to HLTV stats, NAVI currently have the best CT win percentage in the entire world amongst the top 30 teams. Today I'm going to break down exactly why this is and try to help you understand how NAVI have put together such an elite team. First thing I want to focus on is their excellent tactical fluidity. What does tactical fluidity mean? Let's first lay out a hypothetical situation and I'll walk you through how a normal pro team reacts, and then I'll compare that to how a tactically fluid team reacts. For a normal team, imagine them playing Mirage on the CT side. They start with the passive default, the opposing team smokes window and connector, denying any mid control for the CTs. Due to the CT's passive default, CTs have no information to play with, leaving them in a limbo. This forces them to react, so they decide to take a risk and capture a part of the map. For example, walk down slope with 2 players. This puts control back in their hands, rather than leaving the game to chance through passive gambles. If you watch competitive Counter-Strike, this sounds completely normal. Something happened on the map, and they reacted. A tactically fluid team doesn't only react, they are much more proactive and actively try to take control of the game. Now let's walk through the same situation looking at a tactically fluid team. They start with the same default, and when they see heavy utility coming towards middle, they realise that they are going to lose mid control in seconds. Instantly they decide to contest it, asking for the A player for a flash to fight from both connector and short. Let's say they trade 1 for 1. Most teams would wait to see what the Ts would do next, while equally dispersing firepower throughout the map. But a tactically fluid team will make a decision right away. Let's say they decide to stack A for 20 seconds to prepare for an A offensive. The B player rotates, and then they play 3A, 1B. Nothing happens. Again, they make a quick decision, and they decide to contest mid, again with a flashbang. Here you see 3 fast sequential decisions that are not based on external factors. That is tactical fluidity. Always pressuring the opponent through initiative. And now that I've described it, let's see how NAVI does this in an actual game. NAVI start the round with 3B and attempt to take banana control. This is blocked by G2, but NAVI opts to lean towards the A-bomb site regardless, as JL blocks banana off and takes a second smoke from Lexi B, so he can buy more time for G2 to run into NAVI's 4A players. Nothing comes from this, and after some time, JL is forced to use his bonus set of utility, and at this moment, NAVI need to take some information or react towards the B-bomb site to help JL. They opt to rotate B, but now instead of lacking information all over the map, Imma decides to push apartments to gain information, as if he dies, then the rotating B players are still close enough to help out A. But if it is clear, then the chances of a B hit coming are much higher, and NAVI will have 3 players on the correct side. Imma finds a jewel in the apartment and wins it, and after the B hit seems as though it won't come, Wonderful resets the A-bomb site, and NAVI forced G2 into a save. This round, NAVI were very active. They started 3B to throw utility, moved to 4A, and then came back to 3B with apps information, and then back to 3A 2B. As you can see, they constantly make decisions. But of course, this is not the first time in history that we've seen a proactive team. What is special about NAVI is that they pair this tactical fluidity with a perfect balance of aggression. For many years, Tier 1 teams have been very calculated and willing to take risks. When aiming for consistency, it is a very natural reaction to try and eliminate risk elements altogether, and this is precisely what most Tier 1 teams have done. However, there is a huge drawback to this, as it means we become extremely predictable and non-threatening to the opposing T sides. Part of the reason that I believe we were so successful at the Blast Paris Major was that we were willing to take risks and willing to lose rounds. It's refreshing to see these elite teams also taking this approach, and NAVI is seeing huge benefits to doing it. Our first example really shows the mindset shift that NAVI have brought into it as an entire team. The round starts with a strange decision for G2 to walk out of A with a bomb, which hands NAVI a hugely advantageous 4v3 win condition and invites all the NAVI players to rotate to the A bomb site and hold it. However, once Lexi B finds himself in the jungle, NAVI opt away from the conservative approach and move 3 players onto the A-bomb site and using utility to burn down the clock, and instead take the proactive approach of using their 3 players in middle to take information and clear it together. But their mindset is to clear the extra space because they have the players in position and the utility to do so. Imma wins his duel, but even if he does not, Lexi B would expect to make this trade. And even JL is ready to make this frag as well. NAVI make a 2-for-1 situation, but also clear middle control, and G2 are caught completely off guard, and then they go on to win a 3v1 against Modesty. They have an excellent balance, and here we see a perfect example of it coming into play as NAVI begins the round with intense aggression at B, with JL finding the multi-kill from the back of Alexi's distraction on the opposite side. The round instantly becomes a 4v3 advantage for NAVI, but this time, the switch flicks in the opposite direction, as NAVI across the entire map stay compact and only jiggle angles with utility ready so that it cannot be caught off guard. At the 40-second mark, we can see NAVI are in a clear 1-1-1-1 split setup with no set win conditions. But this is where the defensive understanding kicks in, as when JL is spotted, he blocks Banana with his Molotov rather than taking a duel, and NAVI instantly over-rotate towards him to become tightly compact and quick to trade the oncoming phase players. Even though the trades don't work out optimally, the phase players are put totally on the back foot with the expectation that the entire cavalry is coming at any moment. And because they are so fast to rotate, Rops becomes trapped on the bomb site, becoming isolated, allowing NAVI to win the 2v1 shortly afterwards. NAVI have obviously worked on finding this balance of aggression, and their players have clearly understood what is being asked of them, as they are executing it almost flawlessly across these recent games at Blast Premier Fall. But before we continue, I have one question for you. Have you been struggling with finding custom CS2 servers? If so, check out Cybershoke, the world's largest network of servers with thousands of daily users. They offer 26 different game modes, some for practice and some for fun. In my opinion, games like retakes and executes can be a really productive way to practice, and that's why you might even meet some of your favourite professional players as they practice on Cybershoke servers. And if you are someone who wants even more, Cybershoke offers a premium membership, which allows you to get skins through completing missions. It's simple. You fulfill daily missions, get points, get cases, and open skins. To check out Cybershoke, click on the link in the description. Their aggression is also very much tied to the next key feature of their system, which I would like to mention, and that is their over-rotations, which, alongside their total selflessness, allows them to constantly fight together as a unit. Over-rotating is often talked about with a negative connotation, but when certain criteria are met, it can actually be beneficial. An over-rotation basically represents giving up space in favour of movement around the map, most frequently in some sort of gamble. For example, on Mirage, in a 4v4 situation, CTs could decide to rotate 3 players to stack B whilst leaving only 1 on A. This is considered very risky, as a lurker can take advantage of gaps that this creates. For example, walking up connector, which would enable them to cut off rotations and communicate extremely valuable information to their teammates, essentially securing the round. So what is the criteria that can not only make over-rotations work, but make them beneficial? Imagine if, in the same example, before rotating to B, the CTs first clear mid using a flashbang from the A player. They peek mid, see that it is clear, enabling them to give the green light to over-rotate because no lurker is present at the most vulnerable position. They rotate 3B with security in mind, knowing that for a period of time they can solely focus on the bomb sites. It is this seemingly small difference that NAVI has really mastered. They know that they can over-rotate because, due to their aggression, most lurkers don't have enough space to be effective. And for our first example, we will look into a round against G2 on Ancient. So let's see how these over-rotations allow them to fight as a unit, thus creating a stream of duels and never-ending pressure. NAVI start off in a completely standard 2-2-1 setup, and their one player on A finds an opening kill and then controls the temple position. JL immediately vacates his B site anchor position and chases Bit through the CT spawn. Immer blows open the donut smoke to try to deny the bomb being planted to create extra time for the rotate. Then, the benefits of a rotation really kick in. My assistant coach, IMD, likes to call this situation the Minecraft spawner, as every time one player dies, another one instantly appears. Bit runs out and tries to kill and dies. Immer runs out, kills 2 and dies, then JL does the same. Even Alexi B, who was controlling B earlier, is ready to run out if JL dies from donut, meaning that at 1 minute 36, from a 4v5, 7 kills happen in just 5 seconds and the round is over. This was totally chaotic for G2 and completely out of their control. Even though they managed to win an unlikely duel on both Wonderful and Bit, they still had no chance because of the speed of the over-rotation alongside with the mindset to fight and die from each other which NAVI brought. NAVI took space in middle and then used this bonus space to rotate away to help A. Had this been a fake, then they would simply have played without middle control, as all tier 1 teams already understand how to do, and their structure can still be held. Now let's jump into an example against Team Spirit on Dust 2. Spirit throw heavy flashes at long, and NAVI aren't in a position to contest it. As a reaction, NAVI push middle to take back some compensation space and find the B lurkers on ticks in a 1-for-1 trade. This gives them the freedom to over-rotate. The B player just leaves B, and here we see their huge over-rotation mentality. Meaning that in a 4v4 with a minute on the clock, NAVI are all in one position, and Dust 2 has turned into wingman at this moment. And I say this because B no longer exists. And having all the team together in one area leads to a hugely favourable 3v1 situation that not even Donk can manage to convert. To play this way, you have to be willing to lose a round. They are making these situations as chaotic as possible on their own terms, and this means that it won't always work out, but for the T side there is little to no control to be had in any situation, and mentally, NAVI are winning the war. The last factor that cannot be ignored has to be on the individuals themselves. And as of this moment, NAVI have 4 players rated 1.15 or higher. This is almost unheard of in the history of Counter-Strike, and this comes from having a great blend of highly skilled players with a tactical ideology that all the players are on the same page with. They have 2 of the best role players in the game in JL and Bit, and Immer has completely found his role in the team as a playmaker with multiple dimensions to his gameplay. Wonderful has also found phenomenal consistency, achieving a HLTV 1+ rating in 80% of his games in the last 3 months. They even appear to be having fun in the most stressful situations. But not so long ago, Alexi B has been very vocal about multiple instances of tilting killing their atmosphere. What we are seeing recently is an atmosphere of pure trust in the system, and top tier individuals flourishing because of it. Individual moments throughout this past tournament are keeping this playstyle elevated and helping them win rounds even when they have no right to do so. Hats off to their success, they definitely deserve it. This round against Spirit, one of the best teams in the world in terms of individuals, proves out even when tactically they are in total mess, that they still have the individual quality to bail themselves out of it. NAVI find themselves on CT Dust 2 without both long or short control, a situation they have no right to win in the least comfortable positions possible, and yet their players managed to pull out kills that they have no right in making to complete the round. These examples were in every demo that I watched, where one player would make a fantastic play to turn a tricky round into a win where most teams would opt to save or simply have no chance. Hopefully you enjoyed this slight change up of content, and who would you like me to analyse next? Please let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching. See you next time. Hats off to their success. They definitely deserve it. I'm not taking my hat off.